What is up, everyone? It is Thursday, February 5th here. Last stream before the Super Bowl. Real excited. AFJ, what is going on, man? We have, what do we got? 7 NBA games today. I think there's 7. Tons of college basketball. So we're looking at some bets. I haven't placed bets in the last couple hours, so we should be able to see some good plays on the board. Jordan, I've been wearing this jersey every stream since we made since we were headed to the Super Bowl, but I haven't been wearing it every day. I'll probably wear it all weekend though if we win. So, Boyd, what's going on, man? I love the content you're starting to put out. If you guys don't follow Boyd on Twitter, and he also has a YouTube channel, definitely check him out. He's one of the SharpMoney affiliates, and he. I heard him talking about one of the SharpMoney plays, and he sounded just like me. And it was real solid breakdown of a play. So definitely check him out if you guys are trying to learn more as well. You can't get enough content and knowledge from. I learned from so many of the members inside of our community as well. So anyone can teach you. Pat's by a million, love it. Jeff, what's going on? And that boy fresh. Sorry, I skipped your comment there. You're second in line here. Back to I'm looking at my Pickett chart of all time here. I'm back to all time highs. So something I just wanted to point out while I'm kind of looking at this is, in June of this is 7 months ago. Sorry, how many months is that for? 5 months ago, I hit my peak in June, and it took me until like this month. 5 months to get back to my peak. So when you're thinking about like profitable sports betting, these up and down swings, like I didn't hit a new high until 5 months after I hit a high. So just something for you guys to think about. Like overall, this chart looks great. And I know that this upswing was like so much positive variance in my direction. Kind of knew it was coming back down. If you look at kind of the trend line, that big hump, you take that thing right out of there, it would be smooth. But also, yeah, I think we're talking about this month. This month I went up 1,200, then down 1,200. So I'm like break even this month. Last month I was up 12,000. So, these are my 3 tags: SharpMoney plus EV Tool, Signal Bot, and then MathWins props. You go to this month, so they're all very profitable. Last month, this month, MathWins handicap plays are absolutely carrying me. So shout out to MathWins. If you're looking for his handicap plays, you can find those in the alpha package, only inside of Discord. We have a really cool system there where he calls out a play and it shows the top 5 sports books with best odds. So you're able to get a lot of his plays. So I'm not worried about the Signal Bot or the SharpMoney plus EV Tool. I was looking at CLV and stuff. It all looks great. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to keep betting through it. We're like 3 days in here. Or 5 days into the month. I'm not worried about it at all. So with that being said, I had a lot of comments recently. I think we got a lot of new members to really dive into like every single play and break down every single play. And typically when I'm on stream, I kind of click through stuff like probably a little bit too fast. I don't like analyze everything the way I should because I'm trying to get bets out. I'm doing this. I'm streaming to educate, but I'm also here trying to make money for myself at the same time and play some good bets. So I kind of move through it a little bit too quickly sometimes. And I think what you're going to see here is that I'm very selective on my plays. So a lot of these plays that we're going to look at, if we go right down this list, we're going to be skipping probably 75% of the plus EV plays we see here. And maybe that'll shock some people, but it's really about the quality of the play, not how many you can get in, especially if the line is moving against you. So one thing I will add, and we'll probably get into this, but I think this is important. We talk about good line movement charts. Odds are dropping, markets are moving towards your bet. We talk about a bad movement chart where the books are increasing their payouts and the line's moving the opposite direction of your bet. And then we talk about what I call like stale lines, or just like a stable market where there's not too much movement. And those are the markets that I typically want to see a higher EV in to place the bet, because that's a market where I don't know which way it's going. Most likely half the time it's going to go up from when you bet it, half the time it's going to go down from when you bet it, which is totally fine because if you bet it at a plus EV play, it's fine if half the time it goes against you, half the time it goes for you. You're going to end up with that same expected value that you bet it at. What I want to drive home here today is when it's closer to game time and the limits are higher, I'm much more confident playing like stable markets with EV, like even lower EV. But if it's like early in the day, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., the lines haven't shaped up yet, it's a stable market then. No injury reports have came out or anything. I'm only going to bet that type of play if it's like above 3%. But if it's a stable market an hour or so before tip, and it's a 1% EV play, it's something I might take. So that's just a little thought process I had before getting on here. If you guys have questions, let me know as I'm going through these plays. But we are going to kind of go one play at a time here. Let me remove MGM. I don't even know why I have MGM on here. I'm not going to be able to bet them for anything. So let's start with Quinnipiac over 40.5 in this game. So here's what I would consider kind of a stable market. Pinnacle went up, kind of going back down recently. Circa has line at over 141.5. Bookmaker and Pinnacle have 142. It's a 3% edge. We have a 1.5 limit Pinnacle, max bet on Pinnacle, which for this is a very small schools. This limit probably only goes up to 3K, I would guess, before game time. Maybe not even, actually. It's 6:25. This game starts in 30 minutes. So looking at this, with the higher EV play, with a stable market, this is kind of exactly the play I was just talking about, where I'll go and bet this. So over 40.5 on Caesars, just because it's a 3% edge right before game time. And Caesars limits are bad. So we'll see how much money I can get down here. It's a main line, minus 110. So you'd hope I'd be able to get down like $20 maybe on Caesars. 50, not 50. 40. Yeah, Caesars kind of sucks for limits here. It's a pain in the ass. Not even $20, really. So maybe maybe I'm going to take Caesars off of my board when it comes to betting totals for college basketball, because a $10 max bet, that's kind of shitty. Early 7 a.m. lines can save a bucket or two with spreads and totals and price, but can flip. Hitting those early limits in college and then seeing it drop by the sharps is ideal. Yeah. So in the morning, like typically like 8 a.m., we see like NBA limits for spreads. They'll typically go from like $3,000 to $5,000 limits. And that's really when I get the first indication of sharp action, is when spreads hit 5K. And it's also around the same time where like totals in the NBA go from like 1 or 2,000 to 3,000. So kind of a rule of thumb, if you're trying to set like filter settings to Pinnacle limits, 5K for spreads, 3K for totals are good. College basketball is definitely different because, there's bigger D1 schools that will get higher limits. So it's kind of hard to put like a number on what limit you're looking for, but you always want probably a couple $1,000 limits. Like 1.5K is still kind of low and it is a total. So that's our first bet right there. We'll go ahead and hide it. So here's a poly market play. Idaho at Montana State. Idaho money line plus 144. This little red indicator shows that there's value on another book as well. Squall, what's going on, man? So Novig and Profit X. This is good. This is a stable market. We see the DVIG is with Circa, Pinnacle, and Bookmaker. They're all pretty much at plus 130. Put the fair value at 137. 3% EV play. The limits are 3K. I mean, this is a beautiful play. I'm gonna go place this on Novig. So we're looking for Idaho money line plus 141. So I told you we were going to skip. There's a decent amount of liquidity there. 141. So there's $1,200 worth of liquidity. Well, you always want to make sure is that if you're going off of like a Pinnacle DVIG, that the exchange liquidity is never higher than the max bet on Pinnacle. You have to follow wherever you can get down the most money is where the sharps will go, and that will be the true indicator of the price. So I'm not too worried about it since Pinnacle limits are at 3K. If this Idaho bet had more than, a couple thousand on it, I'd be concerned, but I'm not too concerned right here. Idaho money line plus 200. That's on Novig. So look at that, 2 for 2 so far. Idaho money line. Drexel also on the board. So we see overall movement kind of down towards Drexel. That's solid. Mainline movement also down towards Drexel. So plus 4.5 to plus 4, meaning, the books were giving them 4.5 for the main line. Now they're only 4-point underdogs. So they're now saying that they're less of an underdog. But the recent movement is kind of concerning. So let's see the last. So noon. And the last move was at 128. So this line hasn't moved in a while. This move down was at 410. So the most recent move in the market was actually bookmaker going to 4 at 410 today. So the most recent move is also towards Drexel. So as long as there's not a couple $1,000s worth of liquidity here, I'm going to also take Drexel plus 2.5 on Novig. 2.5 plus 139. I'm probably scooping all that liquidity up. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you got it on the EV tool before I did. I'm moving slow. I'm giving you guys time to hit it. So we took all the liquidity there. I mean, another indicator, if you get it at plus 140, the next backing price is 132. So there's a 7-cent gap between the order book, which is good to see as well. Maybe moving in slow motion is the way to go. Really thinking through these plays. All right, so I have a lot of open bets today because I did bet a lot in the morning. So I need to be careful with betting the same stuff over because I know 76ers and Lakers, if I go to my picket, I'm probably going to have a lot of open bets here. So I'm looking for 76ers and Lakers to see what I'm on. So I got overs. And I got pretty good value on these overs, 76ers, Lakers earlier this morning. I bet these at 10 a.m. So hopefully the market is actually moving against this line. So it's stable market now. Overall trend today has been towards the over. That's probably why I was probably on it over earlier. But this is kind of a stable market ever since about 2 o'clock. So if you like, it's the most recent movement has been towards the over, but there hasn't been a move in a while. I'm already on the overs. The market's been trending towards the overs, so this is probably something that I would just skip for everyone, but especially if you already have overs, there's no reason to hit this one. Jason, what's up, man? Merrimack versus Mount St. Mary's. Unders. Yep, this is, we don't have to talk about this one too much. Clear indicator, the most recent movements have been towards the over. We see Pinnacle just went from minus 146 to minus 121. So almost, over 20-cent movement towards the over, saying Pinnacle is saying, hey, if you want to bet the under, we're paying you out more now. So avoid it. You don't want books paying you out more. And then you see the snap back up to towards the over here. So Hopefully, early in the day, we didn't get caught. This looks like it was a good setup for the under earlier in the day, and then it snapped back. So we're skipping that one. We'll skip Drexel money line because we already hit the spread. Chattanooga money line, kind of a stable market. I'm going to skip this one because the odds are kind of high, closer to plus 200. Recent movement has been slightly towards Mercier, so skipping that one as well. Eastern Washington over 153.5 on DraftKings. This move just happened not too long ago. Pinnacle moved from plus 116 to plus 104, so 12-cent movement. Circa is actually dropping their main line towards the under even harder than Pinnacle, which is good. Pinnacle is our DVIG book, but if you see Circa, they're even more towards the under. So this is for the over. So that's not actually a good sign. And I think that one just disappeared. No, right here. So odds movement is good from Pinnacle, but I don't like that Circa just dropped from 151 to 150. That's a move towards the under. So kind of seeing contradicting line moves from the Sharp sports books here. So this is another play I'm just going to lay off of. Now here's a great looking play. This is on rebet, so I'm going to have to go on my phone and place this bet, but we have Pistons minus 13.5 against the Wizards. And you can see the overall market all day has been towards the Pistons. Limits are at 10K right now. It seems like they probably popped up a little bit and then it went to 10K, but it hasn't moved in a while. And we see bookmaker making these guys even bigger favorites from going from minus 15 to minus 16 recently. So not even a half point drop, a full point drop here. So I'm going to try to get this on rebet. If you don't have rebet, it's another sweepstakes book. They're very soft. Minus 13.5. Minus 133. So let's see how much money I can get down here. I think the line got suspended. I'm going to hit this on Novig, minus 138. Ken G, the launch 25 code still works. That's 25% off your first month. I'll send a little link to the channel, but if you're watching here, we get a promo where it's going to be ending on the Super Bowl. Right after the Super Bowl ends, we're going to close this thing down. You can find it on our website. I'll copy and paste it into the chat, but it's betsharpmoney.com. Go to our promos page. You can see the code right here, launch 25. You can use it for pro or alpha products. Get 25% off your first month. Other cool thing here is we have a bunch of partners as well. So, you see me using Novig all the time. You can get 10% back up to $100 in bonus bets. So if you deposit $900, you can get $1,000 to trade with if you use our code and click our link. We also have Edge Boost, which you can get some rewards from depositing into sports books, and then we have Profit X and Pick It Pro discounts as well. So definitely check out that page. Not only with the Sharp Money offers, but also our partners as well. Jeff, you made it in. Sweet. We're just breaking down some plays, going into deep detail about it. So I might have missed this play because we were talking about it for so long. Yep, it cleared. All right, we'll clear that out. Like I said, I like to start. Maybe I'll start from lower. Like, let's look at the Mavs plus 5.5 for the first half. So this one's kind of interesting because we see the limit increase to 5K, and then we see the limits the odds drop a decent amount right here from minus 131 to minus 134. So 3 cent drop isn't much. Drops all the way down to minus 140 and comes back up. So we see about a 4 cent difference from this limit increase, which isn't telling me much. 4 cent move, like I said, doesn't really indicate a ton of sharp action one way or the other. That's real just small fluctuation in the odds. What really tells me that I don't want to be on this bet is the trend line of the main sports books here, where the books are offering the main lines at higher prices than they were earlier. Not prices, lines than they were earlier. So early in the day, these guys were only 3.5-point dogs, and now Bookmaker has them at 4.5, Circa and Pinnacle have them at 4. So avoiding this play, Spurs seems like it's probably the side to be on. Have you slept in that jersey ever since the AFC title game? It's been sitting right here next to the desk so that I can put it on every time. Rockets minus 3.5. Someone just called out. Let's see. It's popped right in my front of my face. Great play. Let's go hit this right now. Good line movement. Good odds movement. Everything looks good. Houston Rockets minus 2.5, minus 134. Let's go hit it. And then we can talk about it in a little bit more detail after. So I'm pretty sure I'm loaded on this bet. So I'm going to hit it for 150 now, and then I'm going to go check Pickett to see how much I actually have on it. I think I've already hit the Rockets pretty well. Rockets. Placed a lot of bets this morning. Oh, maybe I don't have Rockets. Okay, we're going to go back in there and grab a little bit more then. Oh, damn it. Well, just goes to show you we were on a good price right there. I should have put a little bit more on it. I thought I had a couple wagers on the Rockets already, so I didn't want to hit it. Squall City just nuked it. So we had Rockets minus 2.5. I got down like a half unit for myself. I would have went a full unit. We got it minus 134. Fair value is minus 136. So it's no longer good at that minus 140 number. And, this bet will clear in a minute. It might have just cleared. Nope. But the reason we like this bet is we see Pinnacle limits going up and the odds dropping. Pinnacle going for a minus 134, minus 146. Pinnacle limits are at 25,000. So this is a market you can trust. These are the plays that I love hammering the low EV plays with high limits and good market movement. Also, the mainline trends, this opened up at minus 3.5 for the Rockets. Now the main line's minus 4.5. So, good movement towards the Rockets. Thanks for calling that one out in the chat as well. Seems like a lot of people in the chat were actually hitting it, which is good. Suns money line minus 192. Not a good bet. Market's going up, meaning payouts are going up for this side of the line, which means don't touch it. The easy way to think about it is, why would I place a bet now when the market is increasing the payout? Like if you're going to place that bet, wait until game time because the market is moving that way. You'll get a better number later. But you reverse that, market's going down, get that number now because it's going to be worse later. But this is a play you don't want to just take the other side because it's not an EV play, but you want to be looking for Warriors bets right now. So AFJ, this is a great question on these low EV plays. How much Kelly should we stake on these? And I have a different. So Kelly, when you're betting with Kelly criterion formula, it's the optimal bet sizing if you know your expected value. So when a market is moving hard in one direction, you don't know where the expected value is going to end up. What you can assume is that it's going to end up more than what you're currently seeing now if the trend is good. That's why if you're betting like 0.5% EV plays and you're betting Kelly, you're going to be barely staking anything every time. So when I see a low EV play with hard market movement, I typically I try to get down like a unit. So I would just go, I like to flat bet now, honestly. Um, I would use Kelly if the line is stable and you think that EV is going to stay there. But if you think the value is going to increase on your play, which a lot of these low EV plays are going to increase, then I would be, flat betting or, maybe going a little bit above the Kelly. All right. Bill says Spurs over looks tasty. I'm sure, Bill's got a good eye for these plays. So let's see what we got. Let's see how tasty we're talking here. Spurs over. Probably going to roll under. Where's the over? I see an under for the Spurs. Here's the over. So we have an under and an over. So over for the Spurs. The line hasn't moved too much recently, but the overall market has been moving towards the over quite a bit. I mean, we have bookmaker sitting at their main line 231.5. So we have to only go to 230.5, and we're getting plus money compared to bookmaker. That's huge. So market's moving up. Market's been moving up towards the over all day. Pinnacle limits have been slowly moving down. Yeah, this is a really good bet. So Spurs, Mavs over 230.5 plus 104. Hopefully build and grab all the liquidity on there. Over 230.5 for $1,000 available plus 104. We do want it. And I do believe I have a ton of bets on this one as well. So let me double check. I don't think anyone's going to come and scoop $1,200 of liquidity in front of my face. So I'll try to check pick it. Spurs over. This was definitely a morning bet. Yep. So I got the over here. Look at that. 17.8% expected value that I bet earlier. Let's bet it again. 12%. Do I hammer it one more time? Probably overexpose myself a little bit. Such a good play. That's not the bet. Too many Novig tabs open. So we've seen $200 get removed from there. I'll just take another 100. This is a really good value. Yeah, Math Wins is on a freaking heater. His NBA projections have been just insane. We were talking about it earlier in the stream, but he's carrying me this month. He's keeping me level while the other tools are kind of struggling right now. But yeah, Math Wins is on a heater like I've never seen before. I think he's over $30,000 in this year, which is only 1 month in, really. Pistons minus 13.5. Let's see what that looks like. I think we did like Pistons, but I'm not sure. See Wizards. I'll be able to tell you if the Pistons look good by looking at the Wizards bet. So Elon on Polymarket. Looks like Circa just dropped minus 135 to minus 140. This chart's a little tight. Pinnacle's minus 126. Bookmaker is minus 138. So Bookmaker and Circa have just dropped pretty good here. So I'm going to go get this on Polymarket. I think I have some more money still in my Polymarket account. It's mobile only right now. So I'm going to hit Elon minus 122. Today at 7. So this game's about to start. I like it. Three-way DVIG. Let's see. Elon minus 123. We'll take it. Sweet. I don't play as many of Greek's plays. I usually the only time I ever bet the projections is when I get up at like 5:30. Sometimes Greek will send some right behind him, so I'll grab him then. But he usually posts in the afternoon. And I don't really catch him. Rockets over 129.5. Quick little peek at signal there. Rockets over. Rockets over. This is lower on the board. It was probably right in front of my face when I was down here. That play might be gone. Yeah, that Rockets over looks like it's off the board. This Denver play, very bad play. Books are screaming the odds to even more plus money. So skip this Denver play for sure. Utah Valley minus 14. See if we can find it. Utah Valley minus 13.5 on Kalshi. So this looks good. Most of the movement has been downwards. Let's see if I can bet this. We got a DVIG with Bookmaker and Pinnacle. Most of the movement has been towards the under. So Utah Valley minus 13.5, minus 112. Let's log in, see. I have to log into my phone because I don't remember my password. I've been doing really well on. Nice, I got it. I don't want to give my phone number away. Hold on. Anyone else been betting on Kalshi? I've been doing really good. And is it Kalshi or is it Kalshi? Because I feel like I've been hearing more Kalshi, but I've always called it Kalshi. Mathwin's wondering about college hoop market. I will take a peek. All right. This is Kalshi or Kalshi. It's all either way. It's being weird. I might have to bet on my phone. Let's take a look at college hoops. Things have just been going good, so I haven't, I guess, looked. So pretty solid, not a ton of volume, but yeah, 3.8% ROI. Pretty good CLV beat. FanDuel, the biggest winner, Onyx odds, and then Kalshi. It's pretty good across the board. Novig's kind of kicking my ass a little bit. So it looks good there. All right, we got plays rolling and people calling out plays. This is the time to be on the app right now. There's plays flying. Pistons. We're talking Pistons. Oh, Pistons. Get on the Pistons. Run. Minus 122, minus 15.5, minus 122. I'm taking the worst price on FanDuel and trying to get down more money. Going 300. That's a banger. Pistons minus 15.5. You better run. Who's got the injury report? Someone must have been ruled out or ruled in. Pinnacle just went from, it was like minus 110 to minus 135 fast. That's a huge drop. See if I can get on DraftKings. I doubt it. It's probably dead. No, it's probably gone on DraftKings. Cade must be out. Assuming, yeah, he was probably questionable then. That's a spread and a half right there. I mean, I don't watch much NBA, but There's teams giving 15.5 points right now. That seems crazy. Kells, what's going on? Alan said he's out on college hoops. Golden State action. I do have a lot of Golden State bets, and they were getting hit earlier. Got some poly market money to play with too. All right, here's Golden State plus 7.5. This is a beautiful chart. Nice call out. Rum. Warriors plus 7.5, minus 132. Massive odds dropping, minus 132 to minus 146. Quick scan of what my Warrior bets look like today. I only have one big one on them, probably 250. Probably going to look like some real good value now. Plus 7.5, minus 120 for 250. So maybe I'll add another 100. At minus 132. Warriors plus 7, minus 132. Washington has no team left. They traded it away for injured players. Best time for college basketball. I don't know if there's a best time. Maybe what I would say if you're getting reversed on a lot is wait for the limit increase. Like if you see some steam without a limit increase, maybe it's a head fake. You know, college basketball is easier to head fake, but if it's right after a limit increase, then you could probably trust it more. So maybe only play the college basketball ones closer to game time or with limit increases first, because no one's going to head fake at like, for college at least, for like a 5K limit when it only gets to 6, 7 after that 8. All right, Memphis plus 2. How about Memphis plus 2.5? Yeah, Memphis looks good. The market hasn't really moved much recently, but the last movement was like this morning, like noontime, and the market's stabled right out. So this is something I would call a stable market. You got to really look at the time frame here. Like a move at noon doesn't mean too much now. 3K limits, pretty stable market. Like if you want to play, market's probably not going to move in your favor. If you bet this, you're probably betting 1% edges. If you want to bet 1% edges, that's totally cool. You're going to get a lot of volatility, but you can do it. Why aren't these deep links working? Or is that bet just gone? I'm too lazy to go manually search it. Was eating crawfish. What did I miss? You got to clean those fingers up and get on the screen and play some bets. We hit some bangers already, dude. Yeah, we hit a lot of good stuff. What is this one? Here's a huge drop as well. Let's see if I can get this. I'm going to do it on my phone. Quinnipiac under 141.5. Big drop. You could probably play this 1 or 2 cents worse than what it's called out at as well. Today at 7. So this game's about to start any second. Quinnipiac. Pretty sure might be a Massachusetts school. This game already started. It says it doesn't start till 7. I think it already started. Picking up some live odds, I guess. Cal State, not bad. I mean, market's been moving towards Cal State. All right, one other thing I want to point out here. When the odds are listed up here, the first chart, these are the books used in the DVIG. So this is only a Pinnacle DVIG. So when we look down here, here's kind of where my logic goes. If Pinnacle is giving like a much kind of the outlier to the other books in our favor, that means, we're DVIG just to Pinnacle. So yes, it has value to Pinnacle, but because these lines for Circa and Bookmaker are at -2 and not -2.5, then this is something like I typically will lay off of because Pinnacle is a little bit higher on these guys than Circuit and Bookmaker. So they weren't using the DVIG, and I come down here, and Pinnacle has the lowest line for them. So that tells me they're the more confident in them, which I want to see. I want to see if Pinnacle had the worst line for them, I would be twice as pumped. But this one, I'm just going to pass on. So when I see a Pinnacle only DVIG, and I come down here, and Pinnacle has the worst line, then I'm like all for it. Or even like the middle line is fine too. Yeah, so I mentioned this in so sometimes like Pinnacle will move first and like the other books will follow behind it. But I think you do want to um kind of figure that like if it's a Pinnacle limit increase and then the odds drop, like be confident in it. But if Pinnacle is just favoring that one team more than the other books, it's something to be careful for. Ooh, Jazz and the Hawks on rebet. Steaming towards the over. Jazz Hawks. Someone get ruled in probably, or good defensive player got ruled out. I'm logging in on rebet right now. I might ladder the hell out of these plays and get like $25 down a bet. So where's the main line is over 244.5 minus 110. It's there, 244.5. $100 on that, then I'm going to hit all the alternate lines. We're going to get a few $100 down here. Over 243.5. That's a lot of points. Minus 122. So it's minus 118, but it's still a good price. All right, so I only had a couple $100 in my account, but I'm hitting it. Wow, those rebet lines are crazy. They're all still there. Oh, it's kind of weird, up and downward movement here. That's some weird action. Oh, that's a Quinnipiac game, not the. I wonder if this is picking up live. Yeah, that game started. I don't know why it's picking this up. It's because it's not 7 yet. Once it hits 7, it'll stop picking it up. Yeah, the Jazz lines right here. These are what you want to hit. They still have these lines up. I don't know what they're doing. Might deposit more money. All right, I need to reload those accounts. Rebet is soft as hell. Omaha. I like this Omaha. See, so here's another kind of an example of the reverse logic I was just using is that Pinnacle has the highest odds here. They're plus 101, and now Circa's kind of weighing them down at minus 115. But if you look, Bookmaker and Pinnacle agree the main line is 2. So you're taking a half a point less for 5 cents. The most recent movement is Circa. Circa just went to minus 115 at 653. So the most recent movement is the movement that I trust the most. With that being said, I'm going to go bet this on Kalshi. Omaha at North Dakota. Omaha plus 1.5. It is listed at plus 108. I'm probably buying most of it there. Sweet. So Omaha plus 1.5 and Kalshi. Circa just moved to minus 115 from minus 110. So adding a little bit more juice over there. Yeah, dude, there are some great plays. Memphis plus 2.5 again. Brayton, how's your Kalshi going? NFL props on Signal. They're not picking up too many opportunities, to be honest. I've been still monitoring them. There is a lot less profitable markets, and the volume is so much lower. Probably going to let it run for another week or so and make a judgment from there on what we want to include and how we want to handle the NHL bot. But it's a lot to talk about with how we're going to structure those plays. All right, Mathwin just finished up the slate for tomorrow morning. So see you bright and early. Yeah, I'll take UFC plays if I see them up here. Omaha on Pauly as well. I'm gonna go Pauly and hit this again. Money line plus 122. If I can find it on Pauly. Omaha's plus 116 now on Pauly, so it went down. So no good. Yeah, I got a few NFL plays from Signal as well. Nothing in there right now. Yeah, I just flat bet on Signal. I would bet to win 1 unit. So if it's like plus 150, then bet whatever 3/4 of a unit or whatever that is to win a unit or half a unit. And then if it's minus 150, then bet 1.5 units for the minus 150 lines. But I want to add in that staking method soon. We're working on being able to insert your bankroll and then tell you how much money to actually bet on all these. Brayden got his taxes done, and CPA already asking if he wanted to do yearly session by book next year. Which it sounded. I talked to Brayton a little bit. He said his accountant looked into the court cases for the yearly session betting, and said he would file it that way and believes that's the correct way to do it. So interesting as well. But daily session betting definitely seems like there's a strong case to be able to do it that way, and maybe even yearly. I don't know. Still just praying that this tax law gets fixed before we have to worry about it. Idaho money line. Plus 141. We already took that, didn't we? We already did take Idaho, I think. I don't see it anymore. Eastern Washington overs. I don't know if I'm just not seeing these or we have different books where I'm not seeing it. If you call it a play, try to throw out the book name as well. Or am I hiding it? 76ers money line on Fliff. Plus 150. That's a banger. It's a good one. A lot of good questions in the chat, too. I'm going to get those in a second once I hit this line. 76ers plus 150. It's at 10 o'clock tonight. It's plus 145 now. Fair value is 146. Probably want to stay off of it. That's plus 140 now. All right. Definitely staying off of it. I'll move quick. All right. What do we got here? Any thoughts on adding a watch list similar to how you can hide bets? So we're working on like bet tracking. We're really trying to think of how to do this the best way. But I think when you go place a bet, you'll be able to click a button that says that you placed that bet, and then you can type in how much money you bet on it. And then any correlated bet that you're looking at will probably have like a little caution logo. And if you click on the caution logo, it'll tell you what you bet and how much you have out there. So I think that's going to be how we kind of handle like, not really, wouldn't call it a watch list, but that's how we're going to handle like knowing what bets you're on. How am I feeling about the game on Sunday? Oh, also a fellow Pats fan. I feel good. I mean, we're playing with house money. I think, I mean, we're definitely the less skilled team. We're definitely the underdogs. I mean, not saying the lines aren't set correctly, but we got like a 35% chance to win. I mean, I think our coaching's there. We have an MVP caliber quarterback. He needs to have a hell of a game. Defense has been playing great. I think we got a good chance here. But either way, like, I hate to say like I 100% care if we win, but if we lose it, I'm still just gonna feel so great about this year. I mean, first playoff games I ever went to this year. I went to both home playoff games. It was so much fun this year. I just enjoyed the whole ride to the Super Bowl. Just being able to play every single game that's being played every weekend is awesome. But I hope they win for sure. And damn, Drake May's legacy would be off to a hell of a start if he won his second year. Pats. See, I got to look at Pats have been getting value all day. They're having value on the line. The market's so I mean, you're not going to see this move anywhere. Pats plus 4.5. You're always going to get best. I'm not going to bet this, but best price on Novig. Whatever you want to do. I mean, you can get Pats plus 4.5 or plus 101 on the other side of the line for basically a minus 102. So if you're going to do any degen betting on the Super Bowl, do it on Novig, and you pretty much won't pay any taxes. Pats plus 7. You want to take something a little safer. Rebet has it plus 7. There's a good one. Maryland plus 7.5. Lions are dropping. Plus 7.5, minus 115 on FanDuel. Minus 118, we're taking it. Fair value is minus 118, but with that strong movement, I'm taking it anyway. So I'll tell you why I'm taking this at fair value, if I can load it. Got too many screens open for FanDuel. They don't like having 12 screens at once going on. Come on. Let me in. Verify my location. You could also do a make order. Very smart. I guess I'm not placing this bet. Oh my goodness. FanDuel just sitting here on the screen, verifying location, won't let me bet it, and then they bump it 7 points. Those bastards. So I was going to take this at minus 118, and here's why. The fair value price is minus 118, but you have to look at the market direction. Someone bet this at minus 122 to drop it down to minus 131. So if someone found value at minus 122, I'm going to take it at minus 115. Now, it seems like this is on Kalshi as well, so maybe I'm going to hit that real quick. That Maryland plus 7.5 is on Kalshi. That bet's gone. All right, whatever. So I was talking about this earlier, but go Kelly criterion formula on any stable market. But if you're betting into a market that has good movement and you think the value is going to increase, then that's when you want to round up using Kelly or just a flat stake to win a unit. All right, guys, that was a great stream. We had a lot of questions. Actually, I think this is one of the most viewers that we've ever had all at once. Looks like 183. I don't know if those are current viewers or not, but pretty damn good. It's been growing every single day recently, the amount of viewers. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Um, check out betsharpmoney.com for our best promos. And if you're not a part of the free Discord, definitely check that out as well. Definitely join the free if you have nothing else going on. So we had some great plays. I hope we crush tonight. We'll see what happens. And hopefully next time you see me will be Monday night stream, the day after the Super Bowl. And hopefully I'm a very happy man that day. We'll see. All right. Good luck, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl game as well. I'm sorry you guys all have to see the Patriots win another Super Bowl. I don't feel bad for you, though.